In this case, now what is the value of flag has become false. What is the value of flag has become false. If it is a false, it will come to which block? If it is a false, it will come to which block? Else block. And here you are saying a response, HTTP response, and the value of flag has become what now? True. Click on it. So one is sending the template where you fill the data. After filling the data, you click on submit. Once you click on submit, it will come to which block? Else block, where you can read the data and process it and perform the operations and generate output. Okay, so one form is handling how many requests here? Two requests. One is sending the template and one more is generating output, receiving data and generating output. But instead of now you have to write anyway if and else, because two things are there here. One is sending template and one more is receiving data from template. This logic is sending template and this logic is receiving data from the template. This is sending the template and this is receiving data from template. Understood? Right? So let me see how to process the. So this logic you understood? What is here? Okay, why you write if and else here? Because one view is trying to handle how many requests? One view is handling how many requests? Two requests. One is sending template, one is receiving data from template. One is sending template and one more is receiving data from template. This is sending template, this is receiving data from template. Okay, but how you are handling this? By using if and else. But if there is one variable, what is the name of the variable? Like any variable you can take. Any variable name can be anything. Flag means general in application development, a flag generally used for checking booleans, right? So checked, unchecked, unchecked. That can be called as which one? Flag, right? So this is checked. What is the initial value of this is true. Correct or not, right? So now let me tell you how to read the data. So let me tell you how to read the data. Yes, but it is good to handle the request within the same view. If you want, you can handle in different view. Okay, you can submit the data to what? Another view. So processing form data. So this form data can be processed by the same view. This form data can be processed by what? Different view. Now we are talking about processing the form data in what? Same view. Not in the different view. I'm processing the data in what here? Same view. Same view I'm using it. I'm not using a different view. Okay. So once you input the data and click on submit, the request is sent to what? View. So this view responsibility is displaying the template and then receiving data and processing it and generating what? Output. So one view, it is trying to handle both the requests. One view is trying to handle both the requests, right? So for that, now you have to write this logic. I'm just copying this logic here. So views.py, right? So in this example, I take one flag. You remember this? You understood this flag? You understood this flag or not? Okay, why we are using a flag? To check the condition. To check the condition. If flag is a true, you are sending a form. If the flag is a false, you are receiving the data from the form and processing it and generating output. Process it and generate the output, right? So next is how can you read the data from the form? How can you read the data from the form? Okay, you send the data to the view. Then view should read the data from what? Form. Okay. But where this requested data is? where this requested data is, in which object? Request object. This data is there in which object? Request object. Request object or not? Yes. Where is the data is in request object? Once you click on submit button, see here. Once you click on the submit button, so once you click on the submit button, now this is student view, and you enter roll number, you enter the name. Okay, you enter roll number, you enter the name, and you enter the course. After giving these details, when you click on submit button, this data is sent to what? View. In view, where it is storing this data in which object? Request object. And what is the default request method is? See here. What is the default request method is? Get. In request method get, the data is sent by concatenating with what? URL. In request method get, the data is concatenated with the URL. See here. Is it data is concatenated with what? URL, and then send it to which one? This view. And this view receive this data or not? Yes. But how this data is sent to the view? By storing in one object. What is this object is? HTTP request object. And this HTTP, now your server will store this data into which object? HTTP request object, and then send it to what here? View. Now, what is the name of your view is? Student view. Okay, now this view is having a parameter or not? Yes. What is the name of this here? Request. Now, request hold which object now? HTTP request object. And this HTTP request object contain the request data or not? Yes. And this data is stored in one dictionary. What is the dictionary is? Get. What is the dictionary is? Get. Okay, now you read this data from, what is that request object? You want to read this data from request object, you can read directly by using which one? Get. But before reading the data, I want to validate whether this data is correct or not. Because what is the advantage of DJANGO form? Validations. But is it these validations are done at client side or server side? Server side. This validation is done in which side? Server side. Then how can you do this validation? Then you should put this data inside which object? Form object. You have to put this data into which object? Form object. And after storing it to the form object, then you have to check, is it this data is valid or not? How can you verify this data is valid or not? By invoking one method called isValid. IsValidate. What is the name of the method is? IsValidate or isValid. Now this method will invoke which methods? All which methods? All validation methods. This validation methods, you call it as which methods? Some clean methods. Clean methods. You find some validation methods, and these validation methods are called which methods? Clean. So if all the validations are correct, then what will happen? This cleaned data is available to process it. This cleaned data is available for what? Processing. Otherwise, is it this data is available to process? No. This data is not available for what? Processing. Okay. So is it validations are done at client side or server side? Server side. The validations are not done at client side. The validations are server at validations are done at what? Server side. But how you do the validation? By storing this input data into what again? Form. You store this input data again into the form, and after storing it, you invoke which method? IsValid method. If it is valid, then IsValid method invokes which methods? Input validation methods. And after invoking input validation methods, if all the validations are correct, then this data is available to what? Process it. Otherwise, this data is not available to what? Process it. Understood, right? So input validations, you have to understand this. So these are the basic steps to process the data. These are the basic steps to process which one? Form data. These are the basic steps. Rama, I'm not talking about post here. I know only one method, get. We are using which method? Get method. We'll be talking about post method later. Okay, na? Yes. First, to try to understand get method. You don't use always post, right? What is put? Sir, in put, what is happened? Put. What is put? Put is one method. Okay. We'll see that. We'll see put method, post method, get method, delete method, option methods. So don't be panic. I'll tell you all the things. First, you learn this. So you learn something, or you learn somewhere something, and with half knowledge. Okay, with half knowledge, and you try to apply that half knowledge on me. Uh, yes or no? Uh, you try to apply that half knowledge on me, saying what is put, what is, yes or no? If you have a knowledge, then you ask. Otherwise, don't be do that. That इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ ना यार अभिषेक क्या बोल रहा हूँ मैं yes. So what are the basic steps to process this data, right? So first step is, first of all, Django. Django means because you are coming from HTML. HTML means you write only one page HTML tags. You write CSS, khatam. That is easy, right? But here you are doing how many things? Only one, right? You need to design front end, back end, configurations, database. All this, if it is work, then only your project will execute. Otherwise, will it execute? No, right? So, lot of things you have to do it. Okay, na? So, don't be confused and don't think that you should learn everything in one class only, right? So, basic steps to process the form data. First one is, what do you do it? Receive data sent by whom? Client. Okay, receive data sent by client. So populate means store. Populate means store. Store, store received data into what? Form. Why? You can read directly from request object, right? Data is there in request object or not? Yes. You can read directly from request. Why you are storing again data into the form? For validation. For what? Validation. Are you checking validations or not? Yes. Is it input data is correct or not? Suppose you have defined the maximum length input field. You create a form field with the maximum length or not? Yes. Then how it will check maximum length? How it will check maximum length? Maximum length that should be checked or not? Yes. Then how it will check the maximum length, minimum length? You have to store this data into what? Form, and then you should invoke which methods? Then you should invoke which methods? Validation methods. You should invoke which methods? Validation methods. Otherwise, you don't want to check the validation. Then you can read directly from what? Request. Then what is the use of form then? What is the use of form then? So to verify the validations or not? Yes. Then you should store this data, populate the form with what? Data. Okay, store received data into what? Form object. You create one form object, and in that form object, you store the data. After storing the data, why you are storing the data? To verify to input data is correct or not. Okay, for invoking validation methods, like this will return some cleaned data. Clean means without any errors, without any errors. Store received data into form object and invoke. Next method is what? Invoke. Invoke. Which method? Is valid method. Invoke is valid method of which one? Form object. Invoke is valid method of which object? Form object. What this is valid method is doing? This is returning. This is valid method of form object. Invoke which methods? Validation methods. Is valid method invokes the validation methods and return which data? Cleaned data. It means that, after validating whatever data is available, that data you call it as which data? Cleaned data. Getting or not? Now read cleaned data. Returns which data? Cleaned data. Cleaned data means whatever data is validated, if there is no errors, then that will be stored in one dictionary. What is the name of that dictionary? Is a cleaned data is a dictionary. And that dictionary contain what? Key and values. Okay. So after validating data, it returns cleaned data into form object, as one what? Dictionary. And what is that dictionary is? There is one dictionary. What is the name of the dictionary? Is cleaned underscore what? Data. So when this cleaned data is available, if everything is correct, all the validations are correct. If any error is there, this data is available or not available? Not available. This data is not available and you cannot read the data. Okay, right? So this is a fourth step. Now using this dictionary, read data and process it and generate what? Output. So these are the 5 steps. What are the 5 steps out there? First, receive data sent by client. What is the second step? Store received data into which object? Form object. What is the third one? Invoke. Which method? Is valid method of which object? Form object. After validating data, it returns which one? Cleaned data into which object? Form object as one dictionary. What is the name of that dictionary? Cleaned data. Using this dictionary, read data and process it and generate what? Output. Understood? Right? So these are the basic steps which you have to follow in order to process which data? Form data. So now the question comes is valid method. What is valid? Sorry. What is valid? What is valid method of form object? So what is valid method of form object? So valid method. So this will invoke. Okay, this invokes. First one is, okay, this method invokes. What it invokes? First one is, it invokes all validations defined at which level? Field level. All validations defined at which level? Field level. Example is what? What is it? Example is maximum length. What is an example is minimum length. You define all this, right? Maximum length, minimum length. Then next is, it is not only that, it is also invokes. Invoke which method? Clean methods. defined for defined for each field. I'll tell you that how to develop your own clean method. And not only that, invoke clean methods. Clean method defined for group of which one fields. Okay, this method invokes all validations defined at field level like maximum length, minimum length, and invoke clean methods defined for each field. This clean method is nothing but which is used for checking input data is valid or not. You may write you may write custom validation by using which method? Clean method. This is predefined validations, and this is what? Custom validation or user defined validation. You write it by using which methods? Clean methods. Okay, now if is valid method is true, then this data is available. This data is available for reading. If is valid method returns false, this data is not available for what? Reading. So this method returns which value? Boolean value. This method returns which value? Boolean value, right? So what is a valid is valid method of what is this form? DJANGO. DJANGO, what is that? Forms. Okay, so DJANGO form as provided which method? Is valid method. So this is valid method of DJANGO form is a crucial method responsible for triggering the entire form validation process. It triggers all form validation process. When we called on a bound form or model form instances, now here, what it is doing, it is cleaning of individual fields and cleaning of the entire form. Means this is field level validation and this is what? This is field level validation and this is form level validation. This is field level validation and this is what? Form level validation. Understood? Not only that, it also returns what? A value. What is the value it returns? True or false. So if all validation steps are successful and no errors are found. False if validations, yes sir. If any validation error occurs that during the process, then what is the value it returns? So what is the usage of is valid method is use it in DJANGO views to determine whether submitted form data is what? Valid before processing it. If is valid returns true, the cleaned and valid data can be accessed through what? Cleaned data. So what is cleaned data here? I said no. It is a dictionary which contain cleaned data means the data which doesn't gives any errors. And if it returns false, the form instance can pass it back to the template to display what here? Validation errors to the user. Understood? Right? This is what is exactly this is valid method. So what is valid method is doing? Tell me here, what is valid method is doing? All this. All validations defined at what? Field level. Invoke clean methods defined for each field. Invoke clean method defined for group of fields. Group of fields is nothing but this is what? Form level. This is what? Field level. And this method returns. What it returns? Boolean value. What it returns? True. When it returns true, if all validations are 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 what? Successful. If all validations are what? Successful here. All validation steps are successful and no errors are found. Then what is the value it returns? True. What is the value it returns? True. Right? Otherwise, if it is any error is there, then what it returns here? False. It means this data is available or not available? Not available to process. Understood? So this is what is the meaning of is valid. Without is valid, can you read the data? Tell me here, without is valid, can you read the data? Yes, you can read the data without is valid also directly from which object? Request object. But why you are using this is valid and all the things? For checking validations. That is one of the important advantage of using what? DJANGO forms. Right? So then if it is valid, then where it is storing this valid data in one dictionary. What is the name of the dictionary? Cleaned data. Now, next question is, what is cleaned data? What is cleaned data? What is cleaned data in Django forms? Huh? So, what is cleaned data? Tell me what is cleaned data? So, cleaned underscore what? Data is a dictionary. Cleaned data is a dictionary. Cleaned data is what? Dictionary. This dictionary, what this dictionary contain? This dictionary contain cleaned data. Cleaned data means the data which doesn't have any errors. That data you call it as which data? Cleaned data. This is available. This is available if form is valid method. If form is valid method returns is form valid method returns what? True. If this is valid method returns true, then only it is available. Otherwise, it is not available. Then only it is available. Otherwise, it is not available. Understood? Right? So let me write here. Okay. Now this is global flag I've taken. Okay. Yes. Now this is a view handling omni request, two request. One is only one request, get request only. Okay. This is only one request method you are using. And what is the default request method is get. Okay. Then when you call this view first time, what is the value of flag is true. When you call this view first time, what is the value of view? What is the value of flag is true. Value of flag is what? True, right? Then if it is a true, it is creating one empty form and sending that empty form as a part of which one? Response. By making the value of flag as what? False. Then after submitting, is it request is come to the same view or different view? Same view. Now this time what is the value of flag is? False. What is the value of flag is? False. Then it will come to which block? Else block. Else block. In else block, now what you have to do now? Tell me, what do you have to do? You submitted data, right? You should read what? Data. I should read the data. And after reading data, where you have to put this data in? Form. You have to put this data into a form. Why? To validate. Why? To validate, you have to put inside which object? Form object. Create a form. Create a form. Student form equal to what? Student form. Then I should store data or not? Yes. I have to store the data. How can I store the data? I can read from which object? A request object. I can read from request object. Now request is having parameters or not? Yes. Request is having parameters. Okay. So what is the name of this? I'm saying request dot. What is the method I use? Get. If you want, you can create like this also. You can write like this also. Student form equal to student form. What is the name of the field? What is the first field is? Roll number. What is the first field is? Roll number. I said here roll number. Roll number. This is a constructor. Roll number equal to request dot get off. What is the name of the parameter? Roll number. What is the name of the parameter? Roll number. Okay. Then what is the next one is? What is the next one is name. Name equal to request dot get of sorry roll number. This is roll number. Get off. What you are trying to read here? Name. You are trying to read the name, comma. What you are trying to read? Course equal to request dot get. What is the name of this here? Course. Now we created a form object with which data? We created a form object with which data? Form data. Input data or not? Yes. All this input data you put inside what? One object. Which object? Form object. And after storing in form object, what do you have to do? After storing in form object, what do you have to do? Validate. You have to validate. How you validate? Student. If a student form dot is underscore what? Valid. Is valid. What is the name of the method? Is valid. Is valid. You have to invoke which method? Is valid. After populating the data, you have to invoke which method? Is valid. If the form data is valid, then what will happen? What will happen? It returns this valid data into one dictionary. What is a dictionary? Cleaned data. It is there in what? Dictionary. What is the dictionary? Is cleaned data. So I'm reading the data from what? Cleaned data. See a roll number equal to student form dot. Student form dot. What is a what is the dictionary name? Cleaned data. Cleaned data. What is the name of the dictionary? Cleaned data. See here, what is the name of the dictionary? Is cleaned data. In this, you are reading which value? You are reading which value? Roll number. Name equal to student form dot. What is the name of this? Cleaned data. Of which one? Name. And then you are reading the course equal to STUD form. Now, student form. I'm saying student form dot cleaned data of which one? Course. So is it I read all the data or not? Yes. I read all the data, and after reading the data, what do you want to do it? After reading the data, what operation you want to do it? You just want to send this as what? Response. Assume that you want to send this as what? Response. Or you want to print something. You want to print it which side? Server side. Okay. I want to print it server side. I use print. Print means print is print where? Browser. Print will print in a browser. Server. Server. Server terminal. Server terminal. It will print it. Okay. Na? So print. What I'm printing it? Roll number. What I'm printing it? Name. I'm not doing any processing. I'm just printing it which side? Server side. After printing it, I make the flag as what here? True. What is the value of flag is? True. Flag is a true. Flag is a true. Flag is a true. I make the value of flag as a true, right? So flag is a true. Now this is when the condition is a yes. After validate. Otherwise, is it this data is processed or not processed? Not processed. If it is any invalid, suppose if it exceeds a maximum length, what is the maximum length of name I've given? What is the maximum length of name is given? 20. If I give more than 20 characters, then is it is valid returns true or false? False. If this method returns false, is it this code is executed? No. Then the value of flag has become what? True. And after that, I'll tell you. I'll tell you how to insert the errors. I'll tell you how to insert the errors. But meanwhile, I'm generating same form. Which form? I should generate the same form. Which form? Student template HTML. Student template what? HTML. Right? So what I'm doing is I'm creating one empty. What I'm doing? I'm creating one empty form. I'm creating one empty form. I'm sending that as what? Response. I'm creating one empty form and then I'm sending it as what? Response. Understood? So I said here flag is false only, right? So because now next when you submit the data, the value of flag becomes what here? True. So you are trying to handle both the requests by using the same operation or different? Same operation. Now here I just remove the value of which one? Flag. So next time also when you submit it, the value of flag becomes what? False. Then it will come to which block? Else block. Right? But when you send the request to first time, the value of flag is what? True. When you send a request second time, the value of flag will be what? False. Right? Yes. This logic, just try to understand. I'll explain it again. But where it will return this processed data, you're printing at which side? Server side. Now come to this and just send a request. Now send a request to which view? Student view. So student view means what is the value of flag is? Now see here, what is the value of flag is? True. If it is a true, it is given one blank form or not? Yes. Okay. Then after that, what is flag becomes here? False. Now I enter roll number, I enter the name, I enter what here? Course. Enter roll number, name and course and click on submit. Click on submit. Oh, get capital. Okay. Okay, I just click on submit. Now this data is submitted. What data is submitted? See here. The data is submitted to the view or not? Yes. But is it this data is received and printed at which side? You can see at the server side, print. We'll send it again. So enter roll number and name and course and just click on submit here. In a got unexpected keyword argument. What is the argument name I've given? What is the field name? Roll number. Okay. So we imported student form here. Okay. Now we'll just check again. So we send a request here. Roll number. This is a name. And this is a course. Click on submit here. Now you can see at the server side. So now you can see one Naresh and one more is a Python. So one Naresh and what? Python. So it is displayed at which side? Server side. Now you can input the data. So this is a name and a course and click on submit. And you can see in the server side, is it data is processed or not? Yes. But here we populate directly by giving which one here? Dictionary. I've given directly what here? Dictionary. I just given dictionary. Okay. I just given what here? Dictionary. Right? Let me tell you again. Just to see here. These are basic steps. I said no, basic steps. First I've written basic steps. How many steps are there? 5. What is the first one is? Receive data sent by client. Store receive data into which object? Form object. Invoke which method? Is valid method. After validating data, it returns cleaned data into form object as one dictionary. What is that dictionary? Clean data. Using this dictionary, read data and process it and generate output. Same. Yes or no? Then next, now see, same thing I'm doing it. So this else block is for processing data. So what is the first step I did? I created which object? Form objects here. First step, receive data sent by client and store data into which object? Form object. So receive the data. What is this here? Request dot what here? Get. Request dot get. What get contain? Input data or not? Yes. This input data you store in which object? This input data you store in which object? Form object. This input data is stored in which object? Form object. Okay. 1 and 2 is over. 1, 2 is over. 1, 2 is over. Yes. Then next one is what? Invoke. Which method? Is valid method. Then see here. Student form dot is valid. What is valid method is doing? It is invoking which methods? Validation methods. Okay. If all validations are proper, then it returns which value? True. Is it input data is correct? Then what will happen? Is it this data is available to one dictionary or not? Yes. What is the dictionary in which it is available? Cleaned data. What is the dictionary in which it is available? Cleaned data. So roll number, you read cleaned roll number, you read cleaned name, you read clean course. You are reading roll number value, you are reading name value, you are reading what? Course value, and you are printing at which side? Server side. And after printing it, you are generating the same output. Again, you should input data. After generating output, again you will enter what? Data. Then where you enter the data? Within the form. Within the form, then I should generate template by inserting what? Form. Then I created which form? Empty form. I created which form? Empty form. And this empty form, I'm inserting into what? Template and sending what here? Response. Understood? What is say here? Understood or not? Yes. So what is the use of flag here? When you send a request first time, when you send a request what here? First time. When you send a request first time, the value of flag is what? True. If the value of flag is a true, it will give the one blank form. When you send a next time a request, then the value of flag is what? False. Means always it execute which block? Always it execute which block? Else block. Always it execute which block? Else block. Understood? Right? Yes. Now, after receiving the data, Bolo here, Sai Balaji, anything is there, you put in chat window, don't raise the hand. If you raise the hand, I should raise the hand. What is the problem? No problem, right? I'll raise the hand, you raise the hand. Then no use. No doubts, Okay. Don't raise the hands here. The chart window is there, no? You just type it. Okay. Now this is how you are trying to handle it. Now, after receiving the data, I want this data to be, see here, after receiving the data, I want this data to be stored in what? Table. I want to store this data into what? Table. I want this data to be stored in what? Table. Table. I want to store inside a table, right? Then how can I store this data inside what? Table. Yes. Then what I'm doing is, I'm creating, now up to this clear? Clear or not? So here I just print it. Where we are printing it? Server side. See the result at server side. Mali, that is one more problem. Sir, my program is running but no output. अभी क्या करते हैं आप लोग, ऐसे टाइप कर देते हैं यार. What do you do it? You type it and then click on what? Submit. Then we'll say, sir, no output. No output, huh? No output. When you click on submit, data is submitted, huh? Yes. Any output or no output? Huh? Output is there or not there? There or not there? Huh? There. Output is there. Where is the output is there at? Server side. ఇక్కడ రావాలి. ఇక్కడ వస్తే data print అవుతుంది ఇక్కడ. If you come here, you can get data somewhere. Somewhere this is the data where we printed it, right? Okay, right? Console window. See in the console window. Not here, right? Okay. See what is a flag? Flag. There is a lot of problem with the flag. What is a flag? Flag. एक ही question here. What is a flag? Suppose, for example, now you come to institute, right? Institute, you'll come to institute, right? Then you have a flag. What is a flag? Is ID card. What is a flag? ID card. When you take an admission, they'll check only once. They write on ID card, right? Your class timings are this. That is a flag. What is a flag now here? ID card. On ID card, they'll write what? What they write? Timings, batch, they'll write that value is what now? True. That is what? True. That is a true. Okay, right? That is a true. Means when you come to first time, when you enter into the class or when you take a registration, that value will be a true. But whenever you come, they'll try to check. Whenever you come, they'll check. But when you come to the first time, they'll write it. That writing is what now? True. But after writing it, whenever they come, they'll write again. No. That is what? False. Getting or not? So first time when you come, what is the value is? True. But next time when you are coming, what is the value is? False. So first time you are sending a request to this view. First time when you are sending a request to the view, first time when you are sending a request to the view, what is the value of flag is? True. First time is run the server. Okay. First time is run the server here. Because I removed it. Okay, I removed print statement. Now I added here. First time is you open it. Okay, because this is one program is handling how many requests? 2 requests. Then what request it should handle? What request is it? Input data, receive data. It should handle it by using one view. Because of that, you have taken which variable? Flag. Which variable? Flag. One view is handling 2 things. One view is handling 2 things. Now, when I send a request first time, this is first time, right? I send a request first time. This is first time. You are sending first time request to what? View. Then what is the value of flag is? True. Then which block is executed? If block. Which block is executed? If block. What if block is doing? It is creating one blank form. And make the value of flag as what? False. It means you are saying that next time onwards don't invoke this block. Because next time onwards I'll be entering what? Data. Next time onwards I'll be entering data and I'm submitting. Next time onwards I'll be entering data and what? Submit. Then it should receive the data to process, right? Then it should come to which block now? Else block. Not first block. It should come to what? Else block. Because else block is displaying a blank form. No. Blank form is always when you send a first request. That if block is executed when you send a first request. But when you send next time onwards, it will not execute which block? If block. It will come to which block? Else block. It will come to else block. Okay, now this is first. It is executed which block? If a block, you enter the data. You enter the data. You enter what here? Data. And after entering the data, click on what? Submit. Okay, now what is the value of flag has become now? False. Then it will come to which block? Else block. In else block, it received this data or not? Yes. It is received the data and generated form or not? Yes. To enter again data. To enter again data, when you enter data again, click on submit. Then it will go to which block again? Else block. That is where if first time when you are sending a request, what? First time when you are sending a request first time, see here, this is the data. It is printed or not? Yes, on the console. And at the same time, it is also sending the form. Suppose see here. Now I'll try to input name, roll number is there. Name, what is a name is given, and what is the maximum length of course? Tell me here, what is the maximum length of course I've given? 15. 15, right? Maximum length of course is a 15. But I'll try to give the course name, which is now this is course name is given how much here? 15. But here I've given 15, right? But okay, yes. So here I've given 15 and click on maximum, but it is taken 15 only. But suppose we'll have a maximum length, and we'll try to put what? What is this here? Minimum length. So there is a minimum. Minimum is how many? Minimum is some 5. Maximum is what? 15. Minimum is 5 and maximum is what? 15. Now I'll send a request again. Come to this, refresh it. Okay. You are sending a request first time. This is a student view and roll number, and this is a name, and this is minimum is what? 5. Minimum is 5, but I've given course name as only 1 letter, and click on submit. When you click on submit, are you getting one message or not? Yes. Please length of this text should be minimum is how many characters? 5 characters. But you are currently using how many characters? 2 characters. But who is given this tooltip? Who's given this tooltip? Server side or client side? Server side. This validation is checked at server side or not? Yes. When you submit the data, right? You go to college. You said not to go to college here. Huh? Yes. Till which date will complete the course? Because I have college starting from next week. Okay. We started 1 month. 1 month is over. When we started? 20. 29? Yes. Only 1 month. 1 month is over. Just 1 month. Because Sundays you have to remove, right? 1 month also not over. You have to remove Sundays. How many Sundays we have to remove? 4, 5 Sundays. 5 Sundays we have to remove. 6 Sundays. And okay. Now, how many days we completed? Now we'll take these documents. 20 days. 20 days. 28. 28 days are completed. Only 28 days, right? Anyone can complete in 28 days DJANGO here. You'll complete Django in 28 days. You have a REST API. You want project. You want project. You don't want project. You want project. You want everything. You want to explain it again and again. Flag you don't know. What is true you don't know. What is false you don't know. Everything you want me to explain. But you want in how many days? 20 days. But what subject you have? What subject you have here? What subject you have? Huh? What subject you have? Subject. What subject you have? No, there you go. When you start REST API, first DJANGO ne రాదు మనకి. ఫస్ట్ పైథానే రాదు. పైథాన్ రాదు కానీ అన్ని కావాలి మనకి. పైథానే సరిగ్గా రాదు. డిక్షనరీ అంటే తెలియదు. గెట్ అంటే తెలియదు. కానీ అన్ని కావాలి మనకి. వాట్ ఇయర్ ఎడవేంటి? వేర్ ఇస్ దిస్ గై? వాంట్ టు గో టు కాలేజ్. వేర్ ఇస్ దిస్ కాలేజ్ గై? డిలీటెడ్. భయపడ్డాడు. భయపడ్డాడు కదా. వేర్ ఇస్ దిస్ కాలేజ్ గై? గోనా ఉన్నాడు. ప్రభాత్. Sir, till which date will be completed course? I have a college starting from next week. Better you go to college. Then you'll come to Amirpet next year. Anyway, after college, you have to come to Amirpet only. Okay, na? Because in college, nothing is there. Yes. So that is what here. People want to learn everything in one day. And they want to become a software engineers. How it is possible here? మళ్ళీ అదో వాట్ అవి HTML బి నై మాలూమ్. ఈవెన్ HTML ఆల్సో. అవి పూరా ఐ మీన్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. ఓకే, because of some students, right? Now this is validation. This is what here? Validation. But when this validation is done, when you press submit button, no. When you press submit button, no. When you when you press tab button, it will not check any validation. When the validation is done, when you click on submit button, it means validation is done at which side now? Server side. The validation is done at server side. How? By storing this into what form? By storing into this form, by invoking which method is valid. Until unless you don't invoke this, okay, then it is a problem. Okay, right? Okay. So I just copy this. So next comes here is how to create your own validations. Arey Ruchita, why you are asking him? Why you interfere here? If he says something, no, how? Why you are interacting with him? Don't chat. Arey Ruchita, why you are interacting here? Okay, right? Next is now how to check the validations. So this is nothing but what here? Custom validations. Now here form will provide a predefined validations. Say form provide predefined validations. Apart from those predefined validations, you can also, okay, apart from that, you can also write your own validations. So validations, now custom validations, custom validations can be defined inside which class? Form class. Custom validations. Custom validations can be defined inside which class? Form class. Within the form class, now these are predefined validators or not? Yes. Apart from this, you can write your own validations. But these validations can be defined at what? Form level. These validations are again two types. One is form level and one more is what? Field level. Form level validation and one more is field level validations. These validations can be done in two levels. One is form level and one more is field level. So validation is done by overriding. I'm saying by overriding. Which methods? Clean methods. Clean methods provided by which class? Form class. So that can be either form class or that can be what? Model form class. But you have to follow some rules and regulations in order to define which validations? Custom validations. But this we'll discuss not today, right? Okay, we wasted time. Huh? Tomorrow we'll see how to do the custom validations, form level validations as well as field level. See, I'm telling you about generic form and later I'll tell you model form and generic form, model form, both are same. One is the thing is it bind with what? Model. But validations and everything will be the same. Once we move to model form, I don't define again. I'll not teach again what is a custom validations. It is for both same. It is form level, field level, same for generic form as well as for what? Model form, right? So today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? Thank you.